How can losing people change your brain chemistry? It sounds like a question from a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? We often talk about heartbreak or the pain of drifting apart from a friend in emotional, poetic terms. We say our heart is broken, that we feel a void, or that a piece of us is missing. But what if I told you these aren't just metaphors? What if the experience of losing someone, whether through a breakup, a falling out, or even just the slow, silent drift of time, literally alters the physical and chemical landscape of your brain? This isn't just about feeling sad. This is about a fundamental, biological process that gets triggered deep within your neural circuits. A process that can change how you perceive the world, how you make decisions, and even how safe you feel in your own skin. To understand this, we need to look at our evolutionary history. For thousands of years, human survival depended on being part of a tribe, a group, a community. Being accepted and integrated into a social circle meant protection from predators, access to resources, and a greater chance of passing on your genes. Isolation, on the other hand, was a death sentence. Our brains, therefore, evolved a sophisticated system to monitor our social standing. This system is not located in the conscious, logical part of our brain. It's rooted in the primal, ancient structures that govern our most basic survival instincts, like hunger, thirst, and the fight-or-flight response. When you have strong, stable, and supportive relationships, this system sends a constant calming signal. You are safe, you belong, you are secure. But what happens when those relationships start to fade? When a close friend stops returning your calls? When a long-term partnership ends? Or when you move to a new city and leave your support network behind? Your brain doesn't just register this as an emotional inconvenience. It interprets it as a direct threat to your survival. It perceives this social loss as a form of social danger. This isn't an exaggeration. The neural pathways that light up when you experience social rejection are the very same ones that activate when you experience physical pain. A study published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that when people looked at a photo of an ex-partner who had recently broken up with them, the regions of their brain associated with the distress of physical pain, like the secondary somatosensory cortex and the dorsal posterior insula, showed significant activity. In essence, your brain is processing the ache of a lost connection with the same urgency as it would a burn or a broken bone. This triggers a cascade of chemical changes. The first and most significant is the release of stress hormones. When your brain sounds the social danger alarm, your adrenal glands flood your system with cortisol. In the short term, cortisol is useful. It sharpens your senses and prepares your body for immediate action. But when a relationship fades slowly, or a breakup leaves you in a prolonged state of distress, this cortisol drip becomes chronic. Your brain is essentially stuck in a low-grade, long-term state of emergency. This is where the real damage begins, quietly, without you even noticing. Chronically elevated cortisol levels have a profound and corrosive effect on your brain. One of the first areas to suffer is the hippocampus, the region responsible for learning, memory, and emotional regulation. High levels of cortisol can actually shrink the hippocampus, impairing your ability to form new memories and making it harder to manage your emotional responses. You might find yourself becoming more forgetful, struggling to concentrate at work, or overreacting to minor setbacks. You might feel a general sense of mental fog, as if your thinking has become sluggish and unclear. This isn't a failure of willpower. It's a physiological consequence of your brain chemistry being thrown off balance. At the same time, the reward system in your brain takes a major hit. This system, driven by the neurotransmitter dopamine, is what gives you feelings of pleasure, motivation, and drive. It's what makes you want to get out of bed in the morning, pursue your goals, and engage with the world. Social connection is one of the most powerful natural stimulants for this system. Sharing a laugh with a friend, receiving a hug from a loved one, feeling understood and accepted, all these things trigger a healthy release of dopamine. When you lose those sources of connection, your dopamine levels can plummet. The world starts to seem less vibrant, less interesting. Activities you once enjoyed might feel like a chore. This isn't just sadness. It's a neurological condition called anhedonia, the inability to experience pleasure, and it's a hallmark symptom of depression. Your motivation dulls, and a heavy blanket of apathy can settle over your life. Your brain, deprived of its primary source of reward, essentially powers down its motivational engine. This leads to a dangerous feedback loop. The less motivated you feel, the less likely you are to seek out new social connections or maintain existing ones, which further isolates you and deepens the chemical imbalance. Your brain, in its attempt to protect you from the perceived danger of social isolation, has inadvertently trapped you in it. It rewires how safe life feels. The amygdala, your brain's fear center, becomes hyperactive. With cortisol levels high and the calming influence of social bonds gone, the amygdala starts to see threats everywhere. You might become more anxious in social situations, more suspicious of others' intentions, or develop a generalized sense of unease that follows you throughout your day. The world, which once felt like a place of opportunity and connection, now feels hostile and unpredictable. Your brain has recalibrated its baseline for safety, and the new normal is a state of quiet, persistent vigilance. You are, without noticing, living in a world that your own brain chemistry has painted as a more dangerous place. And this is the insidious problem. We are living in an era of unprecedented social fragmentation. We move more often for work, we communicate through screens instead of face-to-face, and the structure of our communities has weakened. The slow, quiet erosion of our social circles is becoming a silent epidemic. We write it off as just being busy or growing apart, but our brains are registering it as a chronic, low-grade threat. The result is a population quietly struggling with increased stress, dulled motivation, and a pervasive unnamed anxiety. People feel off but can't pinpoint why. They feel tired, uninspired, and disconnected, and they blame themselves. They think they're lazy, or that they've lost their passion, or that they're just not trying hard enough. But the problem isn't a personal failing, it's a biological response to a changing social environment. We are not wired for this level of disconnection. The brain that is struggling with motivation, the brain that feels a constant, low hum of anxiety, the brain that finds it hard to concentrate, that is a brain in a state of social distress. It's a brain that is being subtly rewired by the loss of human connection, a process so quiet and gradual that you don't even notice it's happening until you wake up one day and realize you don't quite feel like yourself anymore. Recognizing this isn't about placing blame, it's about understanding the root cause so we can finally address it. So, what is the solution? If a lack of social connection rewires our brain for danger and distress, then the solution must be to consciously and intentionally rewire it back towards safety and reward. It means treating our social health with the same seriousness we treat our physical health. This isn't about suddenly making 100 new friends. It's about rebuilding our neural pathways for connection, one small, deliberate action at a time. The first step is to reactivate your brain's dormant reward system. You need to reteach your brain that engaging with the world is pleasurable. Start small. Think of one activity that used to bring you a tiny spark of joy: listening to a specific album, walking in a park, trying a new recipe. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Schedule it into your day like a doctor's appointment. By completing the task, you are creating a new dopamine-associated memory, a small piece of evidence for your brain that effort can lead to reward. The next step is to re-engage with social connection in low-stakes, manageable ways. The hyperactive amygdala can make big social events feel overwhelming. So, start with micro-connections, make eye contact with the barista, and say a genuine thank you. Have a brief, 2-minute chat with your neighbor when you see them. Send a text to an old friend, not to make a big plan, but just to say you are thinking of them. These small moments may seem insignificant, but to your brain, they are crucial data points. They are signals of social safety that begin to counteract the constant danger alerts. Each positive micro-interaction helps to calm the amygdala and gently nudges your cortisol levels back down. Finally, focus on the quality of your connections, not the quantity. Identify 1 or 2 people in your life who make you feel safe, seen, and supported. Make a conscious effort to invest time and energy in those relationships. Schedule a weekly phone call. Plan a regular low-key activity together. Deep, authentic connection is the most powerful antidote to the brain's fear of social isolation. When your brain experiences the consistent, reliable presence of a trusted ally, It recalibrates its sense of safety. The world begins to feel less threatening because you know you are not facing it alone. This process is slow. You are not just changing your habits. You are physically rebuilding neural pathways. But with consistency and intention, you can guide your brain chemistry away from a state of stress and back towards one of balance, motivation, and genuine connection. You can reclaim that feeling of safety and make life feel vibrant again. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this exploration of the brain and social connection valuable, and you want to keep learning about the hidden forces that shape your life, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you know. See you in the next video.